Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the top 5 things that you should know as a beginner when going into the gym. Okay, so as some people might be getting into the gym for the first time now that we're in the new year, we have a lot of people with New Year's resolutions, and maybe your New Year's resolution involves you getting into the gym. If you're already doing some kind of outdoor activity like biking or running or something like that, you might be wanting to step up your training, and a great way to do that is to get into the gym and move some weights around. If you're interested in more exercise to sport-specific videos, leave that down in the comments below, and I would be happy to go into that deeper in a future video. But for today's list, we are going to be focusing on people who maybe this is your first time in the gym, maybe this is your first time going to some kind of commercial gym or local gym, instead of just using the kettlebells or dumbbells that you have at home, and you're not really sure what you should be focusing on stepping through those doors. For tip number 1, it's going to be something that you should do no matter what kind of training you're doing, and that is set goals and set achievable goals. Don't set goals like competing at the Olympia or being number 1 in the world for a triathlon. If that is your deal, go for it. That sounds like a wonderful thing. However, for most of us out in the world, that's just not going to be an achievable goal. So maybe focus on what you want your deadlift to be, what you want your bench press to be, or if it's a certain number of miles you want to run, really improving leg strength by doing Romanian deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats, different kinds of lunges. Make sure that your goals match what you actually want to achieve. It's very important to look at where you are currently and where you want to be. So just because you're on day 1, don't compare yourself to someone else's day 100. You have to look at where you are, where you want to be, and what the path is to get there. It's not going to be instantaneous, unfortunately, but if you set a clear goal, it's really going to help you focus on your training and help you achieve those goals. Tip number 2 is to be consistent. I am guilty of this so many times over that I go into the gym one day a week and then the next day I'm like, oh, I don't really want to get up that early, so I sleep in and I don't end up making it to the gym that day. I have plenty of other stuff going on in my life that is able to take up my time. However, you need to make training a priority and you have to stay consistent with it. Unfortunately, like I said in the first bit, there's no miracles. You're not going to walk in the first day, do a couple of bicep curls and end up looking like Chris Bumstead. You're going to have to put in the time. And over time, there will be improvements. So a great little bonus tip is to take some progress pictures so that you're able to see where you started and where you're ending up, tracking those goals, all that kind of stuff. The way you're going to see that progress is through consistency. And this isn't just for the gym. This is for your food, your rest, mental well-being. Everything in your life should be consistent with your goals and your training. If you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to see the results you want. If you're not eating correctly, you're not going to see the results that you want. And that's going to be different for each person. But consistency is going to be key. If you are training a certain way, if you're eating a certain way, if you're resting a certain way, all of that stuff needs to be consistent towards your goals. Tip number 3 is a little bit more of a warning. Don't do too much too fast. It's very easy to get into the gym and be like, oh man, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. There's so many different opportunities when you're in the gym. You can go on the treadmills, you can go on the ellipticals, you can go on the rowers, or you can go into the weights, which there is so many different things you can do. Squats, bench press, deadlift are your basic movements, but then you got rows, lateral pull downs, tricep extensions, bicep curl machines, ab machines, chest press machines, chest fly machines. There's so many different things that you're able to do, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And that's why those goals are important. Make sure that you are taking your time, especially if you're just getting started out. Don't be doing 2-hour-long workouts. Go from 30 minutes or so, see how your body's feeling, and then build into like hour-long workouts if that's what you want to do. Do the research, figure out the movements that you need to be doing, and then progressively add them into your training regimen. If you go too quick, too fast, you're going to injure yourself, and then you're going to be out for longer. It's going to be a lot more demoralizing. You're not going to be able to be consistent then, and that's going to damage your goals. Make sure that you're getting your rest time, allowing your body to heal, doing your stretching, but occasionally you just need to slow down and pace yourself. Make sure that you are doing these movements correctly. That is tip 4. Make sure that your movement that is tip 4. Make sure that you are doing the proper movement. If your body is not lined up while you're doing a deadlift properly, like I did a few weeks ago, I hurt my shoulder just because my shoulder was too low and I overextended it, and that just pulled everything down the left side of my body. So make sure that you are using the proper movement, the proper body mechanics. Your body is meant to move in a certain way. If you start getting into more specialized things like strongman, there is certain things like rounding your back that is a technique for lifting different objects. However, for the vast majority of people that are in the gym, take time to actually look at what the machine has on its little diagram. It'll say which muscles it's focusing on, and you can usually see where a person's joints are lined up on different spots on the machines. It's going to pay off much more in the long run if you start out with doing the proper movements instead of learning everything one way for many years and then trying to go back and fixing those things that you are so comfortable doing. For the 5th and final thing, no one's judging you. It's very easy to go into the gym and get overwhelmed by people who are in there already doing their thing because they've been at it longer. They aren't judging you for where you are in your fitness goals. And if they are judging other people where they are based on their fitness goals, they have some serious things that they need to handle inside of themselves. People go to the gym to better themselves, and it's a very mutual and common knowledge that that's why you're there. The guy who's deadlifting 700 pounds at one point was only deadlifting 135. He understands that it took time to get there and you have to start somewhere. The only time that people are actually going to judge you in the gym is if you're being a jerk. If you are hogging a bunch of machines, hogging a bunch of weights, just trying to look as big as you can, that's just really off-putting for most people, and they're going to judge you based on that. No one's going to actually judge you where you are in your fitness goals unless they're your coach, in which case that's their job to judge you. But it's very important to realize this, that unfortunately you just have to get out of your own head. I know when I started going to the gym, it was very easy to look at other people who were doing movements with heavier weights and then going onto that bench press and not being able to do as much and just thinking, well, that person probably just saw me try to do 135 and they think I'm super weak. But that's not the case. They're focused on what they're doing and they really don't care what you're doing. So with that, those are my 5 tips and kind of advice on how to get started in the gym as a beginner. It can be a really daunting task, but it doesn't need to be. Make sure you set your goals. Make sure that you're being consistent and staying accountable with what you're trying to do. Make sure you're pacing yourself. You don't need to rush anything. It's most likely just going to lead to injury. Make sure you know your movements, that you're doing them properly, because once again, you don't want to get injured. And relax. No one's judging you. Everybody just wants to better themselves when they come to the gym. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below about what your favorite gym exercise is to do. If you're not already, make sure that you're subscribed by hitting the little subscribe button, and then the bell next to it will notify you every time a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.